So some of you have been asking me to show my Female Saiyan build off. You know what? Fine. Why not? I'll show you what I got. My Female Saiyan is quite simple, and I honestly think it's the de facto strongest build for a Female Saiyan in PvP, because it is just so efficient at killing everything it touches. It doesn't have a lot of survivability. It is a glass cannon setup, but it really doesn't matter whenever you're gonna make your opponent vanish pretty much every time you touch them, because you just do so much damage. The stat allocation I have is right here. 25 health, that was the points I had left over, is just a little bit more into HP, but originally I had no points in HP on this build. 52 in ki, so that we can use certain combinations of supers. Max stamina, we have 63. It just balances it out at a perfect stamina bar, so I don't have any half stamina bars. We have 72 in basic attack, just so we can have a decent amount of basic attack to work with, even when we're not transformed. We have 160 in strike supers because we have a QQ Bang that is not boosting it by 5. And we have 140 because we have a QQ Bang that is boosting this by 5. I'll show you the QQ Bang real quick. It is a 6-star. It is nerfing my health by a little bit, but that really doesn't matter. We still have enough health to where if we run into another damage cannon, we're not going to get melted in one combo. We have enough stamina to where we're going to be able to vanish a lot and use evasives a lot. It gives us just enough ki to where we have a perfect bar. We don't have any half bars. I can't stand when characters have half bars. It just annoys my eyes. And like I said, the attack power, you can see for yourself. It's very high. On all fronts, it is incredibly high. How I made this QQ Bang, it was Shampa's and the Lighthearted suit, if I'm not mistaken, that I mixed together, and of course I used a Super Mix capsule. Now, it was very random. I got several other results, and a lot of the results that you see here were from that mixture. But that was how I got a hold of it. It took me a lot of farming, and it was very difficult to get the perfect QQ Bang for it. But that's the QQ Bang. The Super Soul I have on is Damn Gonna Have to Go All Out. Now, I got this from a raid. I cannot remember which raid it was. I think it might have been the Cell Max raid or the Beast Gohan raid. One of the two. But, as you can see right here, it boosts all attacks by 25%, boosts movement speed, always, by 25%. After a bit of time after the battle starts. And that is, I think like 10 to 15 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. It does lower your defense by 10%. But let's be honest here, that is nothing. That is just not even remotely noteworthy at all. As long as you're good at defense, you're not going to have to worry about that slight decrease to your defense. Now, the setup I have going involves Super Saiyan God. Now, I went over this in a video, but Super Saiyan God is incredibly strong. A lot of people don't know how to use it, and particularly on female Saiyans, it is, I think, the absolute most efficient awoken skill that you can have on these girls. With the proper build, it is just going to deal the most damage, the fastest. It is going to be incredibly strong in every single way. It gives you a huge movement increase to your speed. It gives you a increase to your ki gain on hits. It gives you access to new loops. And it doesn't nerf or buff your super attack power. But because our super attack power is already so high, that really doesn't matter. Now I'm going to use Blue Goku here as a test dummy. This is actually a very good PvP setup. it's not going to be, like, overpowered to the point where... Like, here's the thing. You can use whatever super attacks you want with this build. I don't care. But for me, personally, I like to go for style over ridiculous efficiency. But even with the style points, this is still doing a lot of damage. For a mere 3 bar of the key, that's pretty damn substantial. And that is the normal damage you do without the Super Soul being active. Your key supers are also doing a pretty good amount of damage. And Crush Cannon, I went over this in another video as well. I'll link both the Super Saiyan God breakdown and the Crush Cannon breakdown in the description below. But Crush Cannon, I use it in tandem with Super Saiyan God because Super Saiyan God has these combos that cannot be key cancelled, which can leave you wide open for punishment. They can be super cancelled late, but when it comes to the key cancel conundrum, it can leave you open. So I put Crush Cannon on to alleviate that issue. It is incredibly fast to cancel. So fast, in fact, that I can do this. It's so fast to cancel that I can even do something like that. Once you get the hang of it, Crush Cannon canceling is like breathing. The muscle memory will come to you over time if you just practice it. It also gives you access to loops, of which you already have a lot of loops in Super Saiyan God. And those loops are very helpful because they're stagger loops. They do not cause your opponent to regenerate stamina rapidly because they're not being knocked off their feet. And every single one of the Female Saiyan's combos in Super Saiyan God is cancelable. Even the ones that slam downward can be dash cancelled and flight cancelled immediately after you time it. Now, the trick is you have to time the Crimson Flash. But the reward you get is astronomically high. They do a ton of damage, as you can see right there. It is so much damage, in fact, that every time somebody sees you hit them, 9 times out of 10, they're going to try and vanish. And if you predict it, you can do something like this. And I went over this in the video as well. You can do something like this if somebody decides to vanish. Crush Cannon cancels manually correct faster than a key cancel will. Now, you're still going to want to key cancel every now and then, but being able to Crush Cannon cancel that fast makes it to where if you can predict your opponent vanishing, they are in a constant loop of pressure. If they do not vanish at the right time or be less predictable, they're just going to keep getting caught. Until that happens. And because you're building charge every time you cancel this, canceling it is incredibly efficient because it's going to get to a point to where you can just one tap and then let it fly. Which also creates a lot more pressure in the mind of your opponent because they're going to be thinking, how many times has he canceled this? Can I take another hit? Because it'll get to a point to where, like I said, you can literally just tap them once. And if you hit them once, and you've got it charged, even just halfway, you're still going to do huge damage. You see right there. And that is a lot of damage to take in one hit. Well, not really one hit, it's actually several hits, but it is so fast that it looks like one hit. It melts. Everybody knows this about Crush Cannon. Now, the other way that you can alleviate the issue of not being able to cancel out of certain animations, like primarily this one, if you time it, you're able to cancel out of it and create a loop. But the thing that people have problems with is whenever you do something like this. Because if it's blocked, that is a punish window. Now you can either Crush Cannon cancel, or you can use a counter skill. Now, this is actually a good opportunity for me to showcase the new Super Saiyan 4 Goku Daima skills. Well, aside from the Kamehameha, because the Kamehameha is, quite frankly, it looks really cool, but it doesn't really fit the theme of the character, so I don't equip it. However, Supreme Fury and Heatwave do fit it, which is the whole blazing fire theme kind of thing. It just looks cool, okay? It is aesthetically pleasing to me. But Supreme Fury is very strong. It is able to do a single chunk of damage really fast. It is practically safe. Even when it's blocked, it's practically safe. When it's whiffed, it's practically safe because all the way through, you are immune to key stuns and immune to basic attacks. So even the fastest basic attacks will not stop this from coming out. You cannot be interrupted unless you charge it. Now, if you charge it, you can be interrupted by a regular Ki Blast, a charge Ki Blast, a Super Ki Blast, or an Ultimate Ki Blast. But frame 1, it is invincible, and then it goes into armor that is completely immune to strike and basic attack. And if you catch your opponent in a very high commitment multi-hitting string, such as Goku's heavy combo, it leads into a heavy stamina break. One that is too fast to one-bar vanish. Let me just show you how cool this freaking string looks. Oh, and I should also mention that it can also be used to counter evasive skills. Certain evasive skills will be countered by this. Say, if you predict your opponent is going to use... Wait, hold on, wrong one. See? It's able to counter certain evasive skills. Most strike evasives will be countered by this, including Spirit Explosion. It's just a very strong skill, and you can't really go wrong with it. It also auto-corrects. If you have somebody behind you, and they're striking you from behind, it is also an anti-flank. Oops. Hold on. Come on, Goku. You saw right there. It will auto-correct manually. And it auto-corrects manually lightning fast. Well, auto-correct manually, that's... Sorry. it autocorrects lightning fast. Oh, and did I mention that it also combo extensions? It will also combo extend very easily, even from a high place, because it sends them flying downward in a heavy knockdown. And if you hit them from behind, you can actually do something like this as well. If you hit your opponent from behind with this skill, you can do something like this. It is a heavy knockdown even further whenever you're behind them and you hit them with it. So much, in fact, that when they don't have the ability to vanish or evasive, you can land certain ultimate attacks after hitting it, like Power Wall, which is one of the things that I do. Now, the other skill that I have is Heatwave, and you saw that earlier. Just a very good skill. It costs 2 bars, yes, but it's well worth the cost for how good it is. It is pretty fast, it travels far, it links after every damn knockback, and it hits really damn hard, especially on that first hit. That initial first hit does so much damage, dude. Almost 9k damage. It's absurd how hard it hits. And it's even more absurd because you get a combo extension after it. And if your opponent decides to vanish, which 9 times out of 10, they're going to try and vanish after you smack them out of the uppercut, you can do a little prediction. You can do a little read right there and grab them, punishing them for vanishing. You cannot go wrong with this skill. And it has another thing where it's immune to Ki Blasts. Not frame 1 like Supreme Fury, but it's still pretty fast. It will go straight through Ki Blasts. It will not go through ultimates, but regular Ki Blasts, in theory, if you throw this out in prediction of somebody trying to Ki stun you or something like that, or throw a burst Kamehameha at you, you can kind of use it as a little counter. And when fully charged, it breaks stamina. And while we do really good damage with our supers, the main thing that people are going to be most concerned about when it comes to your female Saiyan when fighting you is your basic attack damage. Your basic attack damage is going to carry your character. In this game, because of how high it can get, and because it is your primary way of baiting vanishes and making your opponent waste their stamina, the best way to make somebody burn their stamina faster than anything is to hit them with combos like this. And if they vanish right here, that flying punch at the end, it will catch them if they don't dodge at the right time or perfect block it. And they cannot punish it because it is invincible. And this combo is just straight up dumb, because it's just a very stupid loop. You can see it for yourself, the damage is insane. This is easily your best loop. You can never go wrong with it. It is incredibly efficient, the way you're able to play these girls. Now, there are other options, of course. Like I have I have another option here that you can do.
Super Saiyan God を超えた力見せてやる。
And just look at the fashion. I swear, female Saiyans, this is the main thing that they were missing, was just fashion options. Just some casual fashion options, dude. But now that I got it, honestly, female Saiyans are a lot more fun to play now. But you can see for yourself just how much damage this does. One combo. Oh wait, hold on. I did the wrong thing. Okay, so that will not work. But if you were to say do this instead, you gotta get him close to the ground for this to work. Pretty high amount of damage for just one combo into an ultimate attack. Oh, and I should also show you this. Because our super attack damage is so high, super attacks like this will hurt like hell. Look at that damage. Our super soul is not even active yet. But, yeah, that's a lot of damage to take from one counterattack. Okay, back hit. Yep, that's a that's a pretty high percentage of damage to take from one counterattack. Now, when our Super Soul activates, it's of course going to hit a lot harder. Oh yeah, nothing like almost 8k damage from a 1-bar counter. Oh yeah, I should also show this. This is also a very sexy animation. This is GT Vegeta skill. But anyways, I think that is a good place to stop the video, everybody. If you enjoyed, as always, please leave a like, share the video around, and subscribe to my channel if you are new. Feel free to copy the build if you so desire. I don't mind one bit. Like I said, I personally think it's the best build for a female Saiyan in PvP. And I will see you guys later.